The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
The role of a woman in the society is to submit. Birth control are the pills of the devil. Education is so fundamental to the development of a people. Hang murderers. Simple as that. What am I voting for? Voting will change nothing.
Tout le monde haïtien, como ye. God save the Queen.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm a Justice of the Peace here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And of course, everybody knows here in the Bahamas, I'm a member of the local Catholic Christian community. Today I have with me for the first 18 minutes, Ross Denero Thompson. Ross, welcome to Freedom March.
Mr. Monker, thank you so much for having me. It's always an honor to be here on Freedom March.
Well, my brothers and sisters, I'm being directed by the producer to give you a bump.
Awesome.
So I've done that. Today, I'm going to look at domestic violence in view of the fact that the Free National Movement Minister of Health, Dr. Dwayne Sands, apparently was talking to the Woman Dem Crisis Center. So I'm going to add my contribution because I think I know how we can stop gender violence. There's this talk constantly that there are more domestic violence taking place in the Bahamas than any other place in the world. And for the last 30 years, I have been studying gender violence and domestic violence. And I know how to stop it if the people them would listen. I will also tell you how I have no confidence in the Woman Crisis Center. I don't believe Sandra Dane Patterson is safe. And I believe she is anti-man. I don't think she likes us. So I have to be honest with you. Because I'm always disturbed when I see and hear these issues about gender violence. Every time they go to the States and they hear the white people say things, they come back and they put it on us. At least if they can put it on us, let's do a little bit of experimentation. Because I would like to sit down with Sandra Dane Patterson and let me and her experiment. She will take the role of the woman and I shall play the role of the man as we attempt to sort out this mess with gender equality. Sandra Dane Patterson and a bunch of people have given the Bahamian man bad name. The clock is off, okay? So I would know when to stop talking. They've given this country a bad name. And every time I go behind the scene to see if what they are saying is true, it is usually half true, not the full truth. I'm also going to look at the funeral yesterday of the former FNM freedom fighter, Calvin Johnson. You would recall that there was a state-recognized funeral for him, and from all information, Prime Minister, what is the name of the Prime Minister?
Prime Minister Dr. the Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis.
It would appear that Minnis couldn't make it to the funeral. I'm not even sure what's going on. I must confess that I didn't go because, you know, it's a state-recognized funeral, and I'm no longer part of the state. And so I stayed away, and I'm saddened over his death. I'm also going to tell you that I've been in the spirit.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker, and in studio with me is Ras Tenero Thompson. Ras, welcome to Freedom March once again.
Mr. Monker, thank you so much.
Today, I'm going to let Ras read scriptures to us once again. Ras, read the Holy Scriptures, because if my people ever needed the Lord and his words,
yes,
they sure do need it now.
Well, Brother Monker, scripture reading is taken from Romans 15, verses 14 through 21. My brothers, I am quite sure that you, in particular, are full of goodness, fully instructed and capable of correcting each other. But I have special confidence in writing on some points to you, to refresh your memories, because of the grace that was given to me by God. I was given grace to be a minister of Christ Jesus to the Gentiles, dedicated to offer them the gospel of God, so that Gentiles may become an acceptable offering, sanctified by the Holy Spirit. So I can be proud in Jesus Christ of what I have done for God. Of course, I can dare to speak only of the things which Christ has done through me to win the allegiance of the Gentiles, using what I have said and done. By the power and signs of wonders, by the power of the Spirit of God, in this way, from Jerusalem and all around, even as far as Illyricum, I have fully carried out the preaching of the gospel of Christ. And what is more, it has been my rule to preach the gospel only where the name of Christ has not already been or heard, for I do not build on another's foundation. In accordance with Scripture, those who have never been told about him will see him, and those who have never heard about him will understand him. This ends the scripture reading.
I thank you, Ras Tenero Thompson. My spiritual advisor, Bradley Roll, is on the road. He's heading to the studio. Bradley, slow down. All right? Don't speed, okay? The studio will go nowhere. There is a Negro man on Facebook by the name of Boyton Boleg. Boyton, I do know the name of the Prime Minister, Hubert Alexander Minnis. But from time to time, I want you to know I'm getting old. And there are times when I can't remember who is the Prime Minister. And I have to ask my colleagues, who is the Prime Minister of the Bahamas? If left to my own judgment, I would just say Hubert Alexander Ingram, because when we look at the fact that in the District of New Providence at this very moment, I've received intelligence, because earlier I was in talks with a number of Negro citizens who have informed me, and I believe them, that Papa was not pleased with how the funeral took place yesterday. I'm not trying to create any controversy, but I was inundated with intelligence. But I blame Papa for the debacle the country is faced with, because Papa knew that Perry Christie would have been a better Prime Minister than Dr. Hubert Minnis. So, Boyton, please be careful how you criticize me, because I can attack. And don't forget, there is a bow leg who is bow-legged politically, who is catching hell. And I have the bow legs in, because he wouldn't stand up to Chub Key. So stop attacking me, eh? For I am your Negro brother. Today, I want to start out by giving a shout out to a wonderful Negro lady who has turned 80 today. And I wanted to know how I yearn to meet her. So, Sister Patricia Pierce, I know that you are one of the women them. So happy 80th birthday, and it is my desire that you would speak to the young woman them and tell them that notwithstanding what they hear about gender inequality, they are to continue to submit to the wonderful man in their life. So, Miss Pierce, your birthday greetings come from all of the children them and the grandchildren, but particularly Patricia, your daughter. And so, Patricia, I know this is the daughter I'm talking about. I understand that you're not feeling well, but I'm going to have a word with my spiritual advisor so that he can do a quiet prayer for you. So happy birthday, Patricia Pierce. And then, of course, last night, I was so honored that I was invited to speak at the Freetown branch of the Progressive Liberal Party. It was so wonderful, and I thank God for the woman there. As you can see, this black tie was purchased by the woman there. They gave me good ties, and I regard this as a love offering.
That looks like a very expensive tie as well, Mr. Munker.
This is powerful. So I thank the woman them at the Freetown branch of the Progressive Liberal Party. And I thank you all for all the chocolates. And with those chocolates, I shall become even more sugary. So I thank you all for it. And then, of course, I thank you all for the pears. And I thank you for allowing me to be honest at the meeting and to telling you all that I'm F&M. See, I can't lie. But I'm an F&M who's supporting the leadership of Philip Brave Davis and all the PLP them. Isn't that the way you would want me? But it was a wonderful meeting, and I was shocked how many people attended the meeting. This is powerful. And so one of the women them at the meeting asked me to do a shout out to her brother-in-law Joe and her sister Juliet Mackey, for I have been advised that Juliet is one of the women them, and Joe, her husband, is a great man. And this greeting comes from Bertha Ramming. And Bertha Ramming is one of the woman them. If I knew that the woman them would have loved me 30 years ago, I would have just formed woman organization. And so today, as leader of the woman them, I want to take on Dr. Dwayne Sands, because he is my doctor and he's being too politically correct. You see, this issue of domestic violence has to be dealt with. But there are some people who are compromised, and they are not worthy of me entertaining them. I hate to say it. Among those is Sandra Dane Patterson, because I've studied Sandra Dane when Sandra was young. I just studied her, right, for over 30 years. They go to the United States, and they come back, and they badmouth black men without doing proper investigation. They have become anti-man. And when you stand up to them, they call you all kind of dirty, stinking word called misogynist. All right? And they don't want to be honest. And so, Dwayne, I'm going to have to answer you. First of all, how do we deal with domestic violence? How do you deal with it? You have to tell man and woman to be honest. Simple as that. If man and woman are not honest in a relationship, there will be disagreement. Simple as that. See, I can solve it. How do you solve it? Simple as this. The man is to be honest. The woman is to be honest. If the woman knows that the man is being dishonest, you don't spite the man by you two being dishonest. You don't. Life is so strange, and so forth. So if you want to solve domestic violence, there has to be honesty in a relationship, because life being what it is, dishonesty will lead to violence. See, it's a simple thing. And Wayne ought to know the old Calypso song. And if he doesn't know it, I'll just give him one quote. Dr. Sands, let every married man have his own bone fish and stick with your bone fish. As simple as that. But life being what it is, there are relationships where men, because of their nature, has the unique capacity to love more than one woman. That is a fact. And so women will have to make a judgment call. If you are unable to share him, then divorce him. As simple as that. There is a woman that I know, very close relative, recognizing that her husband had this capacity for extra love.
What do you mean by extra love, Mr. Monka?
Extra love meaning that he was so designed that he had the capacity to love more than one woman. All right? And she learned to live with that.
Yeah?
Yeah. Right? Why are you laughing?
So she was sharing him with other women.
Well, I don't. Yes. She took into consideration, and she was such a wonderful woman. Every time a child was born outside of the marriage, right? She was wise. She said to him, bring the child home. That's what she did. Other women would get a cutlass and chop the man. Some women would take potash and throw potash on the man. But this woman was intelligent, and she decided that this sin that her husband was constantly committing, she found a way to deal with it. And then after over 50 years, you see, all of the man's children call her Blessed Mother. Now, this is obviously a very unique woman. Now, what would Sandra Dane say to her? Sandra would say she's stupid. Sandra would say she's suffering from abuse. She's not suffering from abuse because all of her husband's children call her today Blessed Mother. And they take good care of her because they recognize that whatever their father was doing, in addition to their own biological mother, here was a wife who rose above the sins of her husband and embraced all of her children, her husband's children. Isn't that wonderful? Now,
can I say something, Mr. Monka?
Go ahead, my young man.
Based on what I saw on Facebook the last 24 hours, a lot of women are sharing men in Nassau.
Okay. It is not always a very good thing to share the man because I have certain theories. I don't like to offer my theories because these Negroes, they are critical. But I do have theories on it. I have theories on everything. All right? But nevertheless, that is how that particular person dealt with it. Another Negro woman, how did she deal with it? She decided she was going to divorce the man. And she was right because the man was sharing love. And sharing love can be a very distressful situation in a relationship. And of course, in these modern times of all kinds of health challenges, it is so dangerous. So these are some things that we must understand. I always say to women, because I do counseling, and many women and men come to see me because I know how to counsel. The woman told me her husband was keeping a sweetheart. I said to her, you had two choices. You either put up with the sweethearting or file for a bill of divorce. As simple as that. What you can do? She said she didn't want to divorce. I asked her why. And she gave me a wonderful argument. And I said to her, what you're going to have to do now? You're going to have to say to the man, listen, let's go for a medical examination to make sure that not only is he physically well, his extra partner is also. Can you do that? Because these are some realities. I'm not making any judgment, okay? I know a man. Boy, oh boy. I don't know if I must take on this challenge.
Mr. Monka, are you condoning sweethearting on national television?
I'm not condoning anything. I'm being practical.
Okay.
Because Sandra Does are not giving the woman them the right answers to these social problems. Sandra Day knows that in societies such as these, we've always had men who've had more than one household. The problem that I have with the men today is because the F&M has not done sufficient with the economy. They can't take care of 2 and 3 homes. But 50, 60 years ago, the men of the Bahamas were able to take care of all the homes. I'm not getting into no moral argument. I'm looking at the practicality of keeping sweetheart. Dr. Dwayne Sands ought to know, and I'm certain that Sandra Day Patterson would know, that had it not been for sweethearting, many children would not be able to have the school fees paid in the private school. I'm not condoning anything, you know. I'm only giving you economics, all right? You know how many married men put other children of other relationships who are not their biological offspring in private school? I know, because I'm 60, and I've seen what has taken place among men in my family. The men in my family are honorable. The men in my family, they take care of all the women and all the children. Only one member of the family who has not been doing it. And those of us who are aware of it, we help him out. So these are some of the practicality. And all that I'm saying to the woman then is simply this: just leave the relationship. Divorce. Simple as that. And then, of course, the woman must learn that even when the man is keeping sweetheart, she must not retaliate by also keeping sweetheart. All right? In life, there are some double standards, and we have to learn to live with double standards. Every wicked thing that the man does, the woman should resist it. Don't listen to Sandra and them. You all listen to me. For I am the leader of the woman there. So there are things that the senior women of the society always was aware of. But they were wise as they managed the politics of the bedroom, as they managed the politics of their relationship. Today, Sandra them ain't got no respect. All they doing is bringing our business out in the world. And I say, I'm opposed to what Dr. Minnis say, what Dr. Sands say. I say, let's keep hiding it, because it ain't the world business. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back in a few minutes as I continue to deal with domestic violence and the politics of it.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. Thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Monker, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV Studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. Rastanero has left the studio, and I'm waiting on the spiritual advisor. I am now looking at today's Nassau Guardian, where the minister responsible for health, Dr. Dwayne Sands, addressed a woman symposium at police headquarters. So I'm going to read from it because the caption says, Sands' gender-based violence must be confronted. With the Bahamas ranked among the top countries in the world for gender-based violence, Health Minister Dr. Dwayne Sands yesterday stressed the need for Bahamians to confront the issue head-on. Well, today, I'm confronting it head-on. This is Dr. Sands. The World Health Organization, WHO, notes that internationally more than 1 in 3 women experience physical or sexual violence. Sands said as he addressed the Bahamas Crisis Center Symposium on the Preventions of Violence at the police headquarters. Sands, a cardiothoracic surgeon, said the Bahamas contributes significantly to that statistic. While the Bahamas may be a world leader in tourism and finance, well, let me do it again. He says in tourism, in finance, in sports, we also lead in ways that are destructive to our social and economic well-being, Sands said. We stab, shoot, rape, beat, and abuse each other at an unacceptable level, and we are one of the world's leaders in most of those categories. He made similar comments as he contributed to the budget debate in the House of Assembly in June. According to a 2016 report, over 6,000 incidents of gender-based violence were reported in the Bahamas between 2003 and 2013. In some areas of GBV, I don't know what that stands for, on a per capita basis, the Bahamas ranks globally in the highest percentile. Culturally in the Bahamas, violence is perpetrated as being forceful, fellas, and in some instances, it is celebrated as a form of discipline. You know, you have to keep your house in order, he continued. The 2016 report by the National Task Force on GBV, that must be gender-based violence, all right, states that 3 of the top 10 recorded rapes rate in the world occur in the Caribbean. Well, we are not in the Caribbean, Dr. Sands. Not from what Leonard Archer them was teaching me. They said the Bahamas was not in the Caribbean Sea. So, you mean I say? Huh? One of the problems in analyzing what they call gender-based violence is because gender no longer means man and woman in the true context. Gender is a dirty word, and it no longer means man and woman. And Dr. Sands is a good man. But Dr. Sands, how come of the 6,000 Bahamians who are abusing the woman them, I ain't know nothing about that? How come? I live in Bain and Grandstown. How come 6,000? Huh? I know my friend Jerry. Jerry don't beat woman. So what this is? But let's go on the premise that you are correct. Sandra Dane is not the solution. As simple as that. Because Sandra Dane and the Woman Crisis Center, they're anti-man. I went to see my auntie, and I told my auntie, I said, now auntie, tell cousin woman, I don't want to call her name, because my first cousin is Rao. I said, auntie, she is working with Sandra at the Woman Crisis Center, and I ain't coming back here no more. She said, why? I said, listen, that's an unsafe organization, auntie. And when I finished telling my auntie all the things that they is be doing to man, my auntie tell her daughter, don't bother with that, to upset me. All right? I have problem with Sandra and those. The other day, Sandra bring in a whole American ambassador. And in my mind, the Woman Crisis Center in my mind, is like a big bedroom with a bunch of women who is claiming domestic problem. And she took a white American ambassador and she told him how all we doing, talking about Negro men abusing women. That's what she did to us, all right? As if in America, they don't abuse women. Huh? As if in America, man don't get abused. You know how many men are being abused? There's one man. The woman keep beating him. And I told him, unless you defend yourself, I ain't coming back here. Because if that woman was to take potash and fling at you again, I'm going to have to beat her. Because the potash may get on me. And I wouldn't be able to explain to my wife how women throw potash on me. Huh? That woman, you know what she do to the man? And he's a weightless man. She put monkey tamarind in his jockey. Monkey tamarind. Now, I don't believe in domestic violence, but any woman who put monkey tamarind in my jockey, I'm going to have to put monkey tamarind in her jockey. I don't care what nobody says.
I can't deal with this today, man.
What? What you mean?
I can't deal with it.
And I can understand if the man was keeping sweetheart.
Oh, no.
Huh? Ask Dr. Dwayne Sands what it is for a woman to put monkey tamarind in your jockey. That's provocative. And I'm a peaceful man. I don't believe in beating women. I believe the woman should submit. I don't believe in that. I believe the woman should cook the food. And in my case, I can demand the woman to cook the food because for 30 years, I have been cooking. And I tired cooking. Huh?
What's going on, man? What's going on, sir?
I'm taking on Dr. Sands.
Oh, Dr. Dwayne Sands?
On this, right?
Okay.
As he joined forces with Sandra Dane Patterson them and the Woman Crisis Center. All right?
What's the issue?
The issue here is that we are abusing the woman them. Now, there are some men.
Yeah, there's some men who are abusing women.
And there are women who's abusing men.
Yeah, it's
Huh?
both sides of the coin.
So you have to tell the man to be faithful and tell the woman to be faithful.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Huh? The woman throw potash on that poor man. You know it's for people to throw potash? Huh? Can you imagine?
Wow.
Potash. Can you imagine? Monkey tamarind. Dwayne ain't tell the woman that. Did he tell the woman to be faithful? Did you tell the woman to bring all the children? I had a friend. And her and the hospital start arguing. Because when she saw the baby that they gave to her, she said she can't get that home. What Dr. Sands said about that? Huh? So let's cut this thing straight. And Dr. Sands, you got to understand who Sandra Dane Patterson is. Sandra Dane Patterson has never, in all my life that I have attended her conference, she ain't say nothing good about woman, about man. Never. Last conference I've been to, she started talking about incest. I told her, come with me. And I show her a distinguished gentleman. I say, see a man going there? Let's don't talk hard. They've been committing incest for over 100 years.
Wow. And who was that man?
How you ask me that question on national TV? You want the man to beat the hell out of me? Huh? So there's a bunch of hypocrisy on this issue.
Boy, I tell you.
So, how do we solve gender equality? The first thing is the woman them, you must watch the man that you fall in love. Huh? And when you're not sure who to like, ask your man, your pa. Simple as that. That's what I did. I told my ma, I didn't know who to like. All right? But this nonsense that they're running on with, I'm pulling back.
Yeah, but it is something to consider, though, because, I mean, in this country, we have a lot of relationships that are suffering as a result of abuse, you know. Some people stay in it because of, you know, kids and whatever other reason, but it is something that should be
Well, if
addressed.
my wife starts to abuse me, I will have to leave.
There's no excuse for abuse now.
Huh?
Whether it's man or woman that's doing it, there's
What
no
do you
excuse.
mean there's no excuse for abuse?
It shouldn't be
what
happening.
does Sandra call abuse? Sandra call abuse. A woman bring home the wrong baby and you start cursing and carrying on, she will say it is an abuse.
that's mental
It is
abuse.
not an abuse.
It could be mental.
Huh?
It could be mental abuse.
Don't bring the wrong baby home. You heard me? Don't bring the wrong baby
Yeah,
home.
don't make
So
the
this
baby-
is reciprocal.
Don't make the baby the wrong person.
All right?
You
You
will
tell
not
the
have problem.
man to be faithful. You tell the woman to be
faithful. Yeah, I
faithful.
agree with that.
And you
Yeah.
tell Sandra Dean them to go cook for the man. You see, I ain't burning my words. All right? Because I'm annoyed. Dr. Dwayne Sands ain't saying nothing in this article that is pro-man, which means he is catering to these women there.
Either that,
Cut it.
Either that, or the cases of abuse. It's really kind of high as relates to male abusing females. That could be the case as to why he.
You
made-
live in Southern Shores.
Yes, I do.
How many times you hear people cursing and fighting and throwing
Well,
rock and
in
bottle?
the area that I'm in, no, I don't get that at all.
You don't think there's no domestic violence?
It don't appear to be that way. Everybody seems to be getting along pretty good. Mind you, I'm only judging from the
You live
outside.
in Camp Road.
I used to live in Camp Road, yes. I witnessed a
You
lot
saw,
of that.
You saw a lot of domestic
a lot of
violence.
abuse, yeah.
Okay, tell me
A
what
lot
you
of
thought
abuse.
was the genesis of it.
Uh,
What caused it? How come my wife don't abuse me?
Well, apparently it would appear as if most of those cases you would hear the man making a certain allegation about the woman not doing certain things.
Like what? Cooking?
Yeah.
Well, the woman should cook.
She's not doing what she's supposed to do as a female.
Like what?
And then she's been, lured into going out with, her girlfriends, staying out all these extra hours.
Well, I solved that.
You
My
know,
wife said she wanted to
things
go
of
out
that
with a
nature.
girlfriend. I said, listen, may I come? And I go out with them.
Why would you want to go with your wife?
I mean, who wife that is? I don't understand these people,
Yeah, but every relationship deserves some kind of
Who
time.
wife it
spacing
is?
on. Yeah, that's all right.
Can't
man.
I come?
Listen, you ever hear females talk about girls' night out?
What is girls' night?
You never hear of girls' night out?
Girls' night?
Yeah.
No.
Females,
No.
a lot of females have what is called girls' night out. So it's be like 1 week of the month, maybe 2 weeks of the month, where they just go up with their girlfriends.
Okay.
They go socialize, maybe sit down, have dinner. They have their little
It's called girlfriend's night.
yeah,
Well, no
girls,
wonder you
girls'
have
night out.
That's why you have these gender. I
You
tell
think
you,
so? But
this-
I don't see anything wrong with that. There are times when females get together
Yeah,
and they
females
shoot
get
and they
together.
shoot the breeze.
what is wrong with a husband going out
Yeah.
with his wife and,
And-
the female friends?
Well, and then we have our night too, Mr.
Unless
Monka.
they're not safe.
We have our night as well. We
Huh?
go watch our football and our basketball, and we have a little fun with the guys.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong with that. You strike a balance. Yeah, but I think the abuse in relationships is kind of high in this country, and something needs to be done about it,
But you just told me in your neighborhood you have not seen any evidence of
yeah,
it.
I just live in one neighborhood.
How
Mr. Monka.
come?
You know how big this island is?
My
21
brother,
by 7. We have a lot of
listen, I'm
communities,
all over the place. All right? Only one woman in my family has ever complained, right? She was suspicious that the man was keeping sweetheart. And so she couldn't sleep. I solved the problem. I said to him, listen, you didn't marry into the family to keep sweetheart. He was a policeman, right? And he ran on, and I miss. I didn't mean to do it.
You slipped.
Because I'm not a violent man. But I miss and take a 2x4 and hit
Oh, man.
the policeman, right? I only miss. Because all my friends will tell you. And my relative never had that problem again. The police is law abiding.
Oh, yeah.
All right?
He learned his lesson.
Yeah, but I miss and hit him.
But
Okay?
we need to speak up against,
Against what?
violence in relationships,
There should be no violence in relations,
Absolutely.
but as long as
Absolutely.
people are unfaithful,
Yes.
huh? And unfaithfulness.
And then
That's it.
Yeah, and then too, Mr. Monk, you have some men who were not physically abusive in relationships, They have what is called a serious jealousy for their girlfriend.
But there's
you
nothing
know?
wrong with that.
Yeah,
I love to
but-
see men jealous over the woman.
You think so?
Yes.
And then you start accusing the woman. She go over to her girlfriend. She may have a night at the Outback Steakhouse, come back out, come home maybe 12 o'clock, and then you say, man, you're being with your man, eh? I mean, you don't do that.
Well, look at the church woman.
That ain't nice.
She went to church and took the bucket with her. Tell the children when your pa come and ask where your ma is. Tell them I gone to the pump. I ain't listening to Sandra. Sandra them don't cut it straight. All right? So now,
boy,
to the men of the country, y'all are being accused of domestic violence. I want y'all to stop it because you shouldn't beat the woman. To the woman, then, I want y'all to stay home. If the man says stay home, don't mind Sandra Day and them. These are sophisticated people. Don't mind them. If your husband says stay home, when my wife tells me stay home, I stay home. I stay home. And when she tells me she don't want me to talk to nobody, I listen to what she say. All right? She don't beat me.
Yeah.
Right?
You have a decent marriage, I must say that.
Okay, but that's it. So just behave yourself.
Yeah.
Because I say it nationally. Any woman I claim, if I catch you keeping sweetheart, I may sin.
But sometimes, Mr. Monco, you know, we as men, we forget the basic principle.
What is that, my
in
spiritual
relation.
advisor? You think I listen to Sandra?
No, but here's what I'm saying. If you catch your wife sweethearting, forgive her.
I must forgive you?
Yeah, forgive her. And there are times when you just have to walk away. That's
sir.
reality. Yeah, that's reality.
I am not forgiving no sweethearting.
So what are you going to do?
The woman must, my wife must sweetheart me.
Well, okay.
All right?
But
I'm
you know,
not forgiving it.
But you realize that women
Sandra
do...
them wants sissy man. I ain't forgiving that.
Oh, my goodness. Man, don't do that.
Just hold on a second.
Yeah, don't...
I am not forgiving that.
Yeah, don't do
you
that,
will
though.
be faithful to me. You all think you're less. I done been to her forum. When Tommy was Minister of National Security, they didn't invite me to the forum. I crashed it. And the next thing I know, Sandra had a bunch of weightless men in coat suits telling people, but if they catch their wife keeping sweetheart, they ain't gonna do nothing and they can forgive her.
Yeah, that's the right thing.
Well, I took the mic. I said, if I catch my wife keeping sweetheart, there will be this domestic dispute. Don't think I stupid, eh?
Could be some furniture moving up in the
Don't
place.
think I stupid, eh? Huh? I ain't white people. Let white people do that.
Yeah?
Huh? You don't know the
But
Englishman?
you get yourself in problems, man. That doesn't make no sense.
So Bob, you heard about Sir Bob? He
Bob.
came home, right? Caught his wife in the very act. He silently closed the door and turned to the butler and said, when madam is finished, please tell her it greatly displeases me. I, Sir Bob. You think I stupid, eh? I ain't listening to Sandra. Sandra Day never had a wife. Don't think I stupid, eh? Not me. Huh? No, sir. Huh?
If you catch your wife, sweetheart, and what's the course of action?
I'm going to sue. I'm going to sue her
And the man?
and the man. I think I stupid. I've been to the forum where Sandra Day talk about more nonsense.
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, but from a Christian perspective, the woman caught in the act of adultery, Jesus, what did Jesus do?
What did he do?
He pardoned her.
Oh,
And of
hallelujah.
course, you know, there was a man involved. Jesus says, hey, where are nine accusers?
Dwayne Sands ain't cut it straight. When you're cutting things straight, you say to the man, be faithful to your wife. You say to the woman, be faithful to your husband. Simple as that. Sandra say, you must forgive them. Huh?
That's Christian.
Yes, but Sandra ain't say it.
Oh, Lord.
Sandra then is not safe. She ain't gonna tell me that. Listen to me.
She certainly understands
I am
forgiveness.
60.
She
I
certainly
listening to Sandra.
She understands forgiveness.
Sandra don't know nothing but forgiveness. Huh? The first thing she did was she formed a woman crisis center.
Okay.
If I was forming a crisis
What's
center,
wrong with
it
that?
would have been the People's Crisis Center.
Yeah, what's wrong with
She was playing gender. All right? In relationship, because I'm annoyed with it. I've been annoyed from I read the story from 6 a.m. this morning.
Yeah, but women tend to understand women and their emotions and their feelings and the things that they go through. So a woman could relate to a woman when they have various experiences.
Of course.
So, you know, woman center, crisis center, I don't see anything wrong with it. You know.
I know. You're playing it right. Listen, man.
That's the way to do it.
I've studied her for 30 years.
What's your problem with Miss Sandra Day Patterson? What's the issue with her? You got to look beyond your issues with her and look at the thing that she's dealing with.
Me and Sandra live in the same society.
Okay.
So Sandra Dane live a privileged life. Sandra Dane, whenever the PLP was in power, Sandra got what she wanted.
Something else, eh?
Whenever the FNM was in power, Sandra got what she wanted.
What's wrong with that?
She's privileged. She's privileged. And she's found a niche.
Is that good or bad?
I don't know. All I'm saying is they're not cutting it objectively. When the man Sandra sat, see, let me tell you why I have Sandra Dane in. The PLP appointed her to a judicial committee.
Okay.
And appeared before her was the man, I have to cover identity, and the Chinese baby. And Sandra and those Negroes who comprise it made him mind the baby. That's another Chinese baby.
Was it his baby?
He blacker than you. And the woman blacker than you.
Did he say the baby is his?
You heard what I tell you?
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, let's leave this issue. I'm tired of it.
Lord.
And so I've had her in for over 30. How long I had Sandra
you
Dane
gotta
in?
forgive that and move on, man.
I don't hate her, but I have her in for over 1980 to now. How much years?
That's 37.
Okay, that would be about 39 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It's wicked what they do to black men in the country. Now, men must be faithful. You must treat the woman with respect.
Absolutely.
All right? That's very important. But the woman must be reciprocal. All right? Because all these people that Sandra say is being beaten. I should hear some of the women them crying.
Really?
Uh-huh. Sandra ain't talk about the murder that the woman put on the man when he went to sleep. But I don't want to bring up those things. Anyway, let's leave it alone. Because it gets me mad every time I hear this nonsense. Because I just go quietly to the police and say, now listen, Sandra say it's 6,000. How much this really is? And if Sandra know what successive government ministers have told me quietly about her exaggeration. And Dr. Dwayne San, being the doctor, he should be able to go into the hospital file and produce the evidence of the 6,000. That is not to say that there are no abuses taking place, but it is reciprocal. Very reciprocal. And the way you end gender-based, if you think you can, is you have to tell people to be honest and faithful. As simple as that. You have to tell people, both sides. And if you're dealing with gender-based, you can't just defend half of the gender. Because I'm going to tell them, and I don't care what they say, I demand faithfulness. Say I got one of the women down on the phone. Woman, call me back after we take a break. Spiritual advisor, any further thing? Because I've spent an hour running on about this.
We understand the basic principle, so you can move on.
I can move on.
I'll be 2 minutes before the break.
Well, what is happening again in the country? I want to say, who's the Minister for the Environment?
That is Romuald Fierro.
Romuald Fierro. In the district of New Providence, today appeared before me a Negro man who was complained about a car dumping garage on Seabreeze Lane near to the Rocky Farm Nursery.
That's Seabreeze Lane.
Seabreeze Lane. I need you to go and have one of your men investigate it, and to the extent that you are able to lawfully close it down, will you please close it down? Because the neighbors are complaining. And that Negro man from Seabreeze Lane left there to find me. And so I realized it must have been extremely stressful for that citizen to leave the eastern part of the island to find me in the western part. So go ahead, have somebody look at that. I promise the Negro man that I will mention it, and it is my hope that you would deal with the matter. And I think that is in the constituency of Dr. Dwayne Sands. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back after the break.
Freedom March with Rodney Monker will be right back after this. This is Freedom March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live on ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. My spiritual advisor is Bradley Roll. Before I leave this gender-based argument, one of the things that displeases me is the gangsterism of mixing up all of these issues. They bring married woman in. Married woman issue is separate from single woman issue. Because I'm among those Christians who believe that a married man cannot rape his wife. That's only my views. I ask y'all to accept my argument. I only give you my belief.
I think you'd be right on that.
All right? And so, the unsaved woman, in her fight for gender right, they mix up the issue. And I'm tired of it. All right? Let's do this right. Married woman, the law is clear. And for over 10,000 years, I'm not changing it. I don't want nobody to get in me and my wife business, and I can get in you and your wife business. I ain't listening to Sandra them. I studied Sandra Dane. All right? I used to complain to Hubert Ingram about her when he was prime minister. I used to go to him and say, Papa, why is Sandra bringing this white American man in the crisis center to give the Negroes locally bad name? I used to complain to Papa every time I saw him. I would say, Papa, what this is? Y'all don't know me. I used to complain to him. Papa would smile and say, well, you know, and so forth. So I just want to say that. Now, before I take calls, I want to announce that last night, when I arrived at my office, my wife informed me that she had received a call from a certain distinguished Negro man telling me that Sir Arlington Butler is the first big black speaker in an independent. No, he would not. He's the first black speaker in an independent Bahamas. He wasn't the first speaker, but the first big black speaker in an independent Bahamas. He died. And on the eve of his death, the Bahamas Olympic Committee, apparently, if I have it correct, had nominations of officers. Big dispute going on. Among the Negroes who were nominated was Mike Sands. And it would appear that as Sir Arlington, who for many years was associated with the Olympic Association, used to be a former president, there is one major controversy. And they even wouldn't let me mourn. Because all day I have been hearing reports about, you know, how Sir Ali leave it and what this, and they look to me like they're going even to court. They did it the last time. And so, election, however, appears to be scheduled for the 16th of November. And I think they're going to have it at the police headquarters. So, in the midst of a national hero dying, Sir Arlington Butler, there's this new undercurrent row taking place all night, last night. So that is what is taking place. And in the course of the week, I shall reflect. And by reflection, discuss him. Because I know him very well. He was a very, very good friend of my late father. So I have a good idea and appreciation for him. I have anybody on the phone? Welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Hello? Well, that person gone. My spiritual advisor, you have text, because this is a weekend.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Find text.
Here we go.
Because the state minister for national security, but that is the former state minister,
Okay.
that would be Keith Bell. He now says that he was unaware of the Royal Bahamas Defense Force weapons purchase. So that is what is going on there.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monker. We understanding that the Prime Minister took the fire engine from the Treasury.
Put the camera
the Treasure
on the
Airport?
spiritual advisor.
What do you mean by the Treasury Airport and send it to Bimini? That's one complaint. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Spiritual advisor, you're blessed. Speak what the Lord wants you to speak. You're a good man. Here we go. So Arlington, keeping sweetheart is the best. Keeping sweetheart is the best feeling in the world for a Bahamian man. This person say check the Bible. What is he talking about? So Arlington stole my grandfather. Oh. Let me leave that.
Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Sir.
Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, Mr. Monk, how you doing?
Listen, I'm here. How are you?
I'm good. I'm a PLP, and I normally don't agree with your spiritual advisor, but I agree with him today.
What was that you agreed with?
I'm talking about this sweetheart thing, y'all. I'm 62, and
Okay.
I've been married now for 40 years.
Okay.
And you got to know, I hear you talking about keeping sweetheart and what's not.
What did I say about keeping sweetheart?
That's a hard thing for a man to do, you know.
You mean to keep
Not
sweetheart?
to keep sweetheart.
You said
You got to be strong.
to keep sweetheart.
Not to
I
do
was
it.
when I first got married, I was a jealous man,
That's wonderful.
very jealous. But now today, my wife, she can go around the world, and I trust her.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's the way it should be.
Well,
You
in my
understand?
case, jealousy does not mean that I don't trust you.
Yeah,
You follow?
Is it godly
man,
jealousy?
I still have no jealousy in me.
Absolutely. That's
I
what it
have
is.
plenty
Yeah.
jealousy. I love being jealous. Isn't jealousy a wonderful thing?
Jealousy could be a sin too.
I just love being jealous.
You
could be a
just love
sin.
being jealous.
Yeah, man. I say to the woman every day, woman, I am jealous. Who woman it is?
That's your woman.
Who woman?
It's your woman.
That's your woman.
Well,
man.
can't I be jealous of my own woman?
You
With a
got to
godly
be.
with a
All right,
godly
that's
jealousy.
all I'm saying. And I don't want my woman to listen to these unsaved women.
Plenty of unsaved women out there now.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Oh,
they
yeah.
and they know you married. They come after you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I thank you, but I want you to stay far from sweethearting and stay with your wife and be jealous.
Be
okay?
faithful. Be faithful.
I will.
Absolutely.
I will.
This is
Absolutely.
powerful. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello.
Good evening. How are you? I'd like to speak with Mr. Monker, please.
Speaking.
Mr. Monker, how are you?
I am fine. How are you?
I'm great.
What is on your mind, sister?
First time caller.
Welcome. What's on your mind?
Yes, I'm calling to give a shout out. I would like you to give a shout out to Miss Nicola Stubb. Tomorrow's her birthday.
Nicola Stubbs?
Yes, she's
Eh.
one of the women too, also.
Now, is she obeying good man?
Yes, she is.
Oh, this is the kind of woman that Sandra Dean need to meet.
Yes, she submit.
She submit. This is powerful. Lord, I
Yes.
thank you
I thank you too.
that thousands of Negro women are rejecting the gender equality crowd and is lovingly submitting to demand them. Therefore, Sister Nicola Stubbs, you're one of the women them. Happy birthday, Saturday. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Mr. Monko, good afternoon. How are you?
Listen, I'm here struggling with all of these socio-political
And-
issues.
Your spiritual advisor, how are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself? All well?
Oh, I'm wonderful.
Absolutely.
I would like to send a shout out to my niece, Miss Nicola Stubbs.
Nicola
She's
Stubbs,
one of the women there,
is she submitting to man rule?
and I am one of the women there.
Oh, this is powerful. Nicola, you seems to be a wonderful woman. Happy birthday again. We thank you, eh?
Thank you.
God bless you.
Have a blessed day.
Thank
do the
you,
same.
eh?
Have a great weekend and be safe.
Uh-huh. Do I have more calls?
All right, let's
Hello,
get
welcome to Freedom March.
some more calls. Let's get some more text.
Yeah,
here.
I think I'm going to focus today on text and gender equality. Mama, you're calling me on the cell phone. Put the camera on because I have to answer the special phone call.
Jehovah bless, gentlemen. Mr. Monica and Spiritual Advisor. Mrs. Spiritual Advisor, why are young people not marrying in this day and age? And what can we do to fix this? Is it because there's no good example in marriage? This is a very interesting text and a very, very powerful question. Let me read that again. Jah bless, gentlemen, Mr. Monica and Spiritual Advisor. Mr. Spiritual Advisor, why are young people not marrying in this day and age? Good question. And what can we do to fix this? Is it because there's no good example of marriage? Very, very interesting text there. Here we go. Here we go. Mr. Monica. Good afternoon, gentlemen. When the water is off, the space should not be occupied at all. No excuses. It happens in all government buildings. And nobody cares about the workers. Workers must stand up. Do you understand this text? They say, good afternoon, gentlemen. When the water is off, the space should not be occupied at all. No excuses. It happens in all government buildings, and nobody cares about the workers. Workers must stand up. Mr. Monica, Dr. Menace went back on many of his promises. He could not get me to vote F&M if Papa pays me. Mr.
Wow.
Monica, do you believe that Dr. Menace is a communist? He doesn't listen to people. Is it the people's time?
How many texts
You
do
need
you
to
have?
turn this phone off.
How many texts do you
Phone
have, my spiritual advisor?
Quite a bit. Mr.
Put the camera
Monica.
on the spiritual advisor. Let him read text.
Mr. Monica, we need to change this government, and we need to change it now. Good evening, Mr. Monica. At the North Eleuthera High School, a fight broke out among 10 grade students, resulting in one female student being injured by a box cutter. The principal of the institution has yet to say anything. He brushes everything under the rug. Students are even smuggling drugs on the campus, and he does nothing about it. We here in North Eleuthera are tired of the childish games with this gentleman. That's an interesting text. North Eleuthera High. So they have some issues there. Mr. Monica, could you please ask your F&M colleagues and Minister Lanisha Roll and the Minister of Finance, Peter Turnquest, when will urban renewal be paid? Their notice of unemployment that is owed. Thank you. Thank you for your assistance. Here we go. Good day, Mr. Monica. I heard Island Luck has stopped the money transfer between accounts. Do you know anything about this? Here we go. Nope. I can't read that. Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. Can you ask, good afternoon, Spiritual Advisor. Can you ask Mr. Monica to send a birthday shout out to Denise Coburn? She's one of the women there. Happy birthday, Denise Coburn from Freedom March. Okay, here we go. Another text. Good afternoon, gentlemen. Can you tell me what Mr. Robertson meant by when he said if the politicians don't get an increase, it will cause corruption? So it means they are all planning to steal because they aren't placed. They all know what they are faced with when it comes to salaries. That means monies will put legs on the run of the treasury. That means monies will put legs on and run of the treasury. They all waiting for raise and they ain't working yet. It's only 6 months, Mr. Monica. Okay. That text was a little bit jumbled there. Good day, Mr. Monica. I want to know what is going on in this little Bahama Island. I am so sorry that I vote F&M. These people look like they lost. No plan, and now the PM talking about raise. God help us, Mr. Monica. People are hurting. Hi, Mr. Monica. I was listening to a talk show today, and one caller said the MP, for being in Grandstand was complaining about his paycheck. He says the paycheck is like that of a janitor's paycheck, which was bad for him to say, but he should know that he doesn't have a, oh, I see, that he doesn't have a cat or dog to feed. Now, some of these texts are not easy to read. Let's go. Let's see what else we get here. Senator and spiritual advisor, surely we just promoted a commissioner of police who will serve possibly 2 years and receive a commissioner's pension. Who is making these financial and prudent decisions? Is it possible we have 3 commissioners of police in the next 10 years? Hence more money. I thought we were cutting back on government spending. Some of these texts are going back pretty far, Mr. Monka. You still want to read them? Good day, Mr. Monka and spiritual advisor. I heard Mr. Monka been to a station today and didn't hail the woman them. Tell Mr. Monka he owes us our apology. What station is that?
Listen to the woman them. Please forgive me. There's so many things on my mind. I just have a text from one of you women. Mr. Monka, what is your take on the treatment of Calvin Johnson? He was disrespected in many ways. Why was that? Well, you have to understand what you're up against. You're dealing with Dr. Hubert Minnis. And Dr. Minnis is extremely mediocre. There are powerful people in the FNM who sent Minnis a message and told him how Calvin ought to be treated, namely that there ought to be provision, if it does not exist, for Calvin to be laid in state in the Honorable House of Assembly. And according to the reports that I received, Minnis Sakitit and didn't listen, arguing that the cabinet, meaning maybe the former cabinet, but the cabinet had made a decision that maybe certain categories of parliamentarians could not lay in state. And so the last thing the Negro man told me is that even Papa is now angry. And then you see what Minnis do. Minnis even ain't gone to his funeral. All right? Even ain't gone to his funeral. So, I don't know. Let Minnis do what he wants to do. Go ahead, talk. Let me hear you. Well, we have breaking news. The Negro Online News, Bahama Press, has just announced that 40 Negroes of the gaming board has been fired. That is what we are getting off the hotline. Yes? Okay. And so these are the news that are taking place. I want you to...
What was that he said?
I want you to ignore that. You heard me?
Mr. Producer.
The last time.
Send that back again. I didn't hear that one.
Please do not repeat that to the spiritual advisor. The spiritual advisor, I shall determine.
That's right. You're in charge.
What is to be said.
Forgive me,
remember,
boss. Forgive me,
the
boss.
last time you called one woman name.
Forgive me, boss.
The wrong woman show up accusing me of calling her name.
That's
when the facts will show that I didn't call her name.
Yeah, you're right.
But this was
we must
Minister
apologize.
Frankie Stubbs maneuvering.
Yeah, we must apologize for that.
Yeah.
Let me read this text.
Okay.
Mr. Monica, 3 years
Listen, producer, I heard what you say, but you know, I'm a saved man, and I have not returned from up high yet, okay? Yeah.
You're still in trance. Mr. Monica, 3 years ago, the now PM disagreed with the past government about a raise for all MPs. So why now should he give a raise when the government has been laying off people left, right, and center? Mr. Monica, there are people starving out there, and to see how the PM could be nonsensical and hypocritical to many people is a crying shame. Let's see, what do we have here? Mr. Monica, word is that Mr. Campbell is going to be in Abaco. We know plenty of his people live in the mud and the peas.
Spiritual advisor, after being married for a long time, man does want to eat a different meat sometimes. Goodness have mercy.
No, that's a definitely unsaved text.
Good evening, Senator Monica. Can you please bring to Jeff Lloyd and Frankie Campbell's attention that the school buses in the Western District are dangerously overcrowded? Kids stand up from the door straight to the back of the bus. God forbids if they meet an accident. it would be deadly. Warren Miller should pay attention to this because it's right in his constituency. They pass his home morning and evening.
Mr. Monica, I blame Papa for this government being in power. If Papa Ingram didn't campaign for Hubert Minnis, he wouldn't be prime minister.
That is true.
You agree with that?
Of course, Papa Costas.
You think so?
Papa Costas.
I don't think so.
Listen to me.
He may have put a little bit of icing on the cake.
Listen to me. Papa, make that cake.
You think so?
Of course. I want you to salute Mrs. Cora Mae Bridgewater in Bevanstown, Grand Bahama, who's carrying on after the loss of her husband of 59 years. She's one of the women them watching you every day. Wow. Cora Mae Bridgewater, I know it must be a sad, sad occasion. This is your time for mourning, and I really hope that, things will work out for you, okay? But please have my sympathies, and I yearn one day to come to Bevanstown to meet you.
Look into this, Mr. Monica. They're saying that they took the fire engine from Treasure Key and sent it to Bimini.
The fire engine from Treasure Key and sent it.
Yeah, they say it was sent to Bimini.
Okay.
I guess you can look into that.
What part? Treasure Key is in whose constituency? Hanfield.
Really?
The Defense Force officer turned politician.
Oh, okay.
All right? Hanfield. Listen, North Abaco is where my families are from. Okay? Put that fire engine back because they got one house down there and I don't want that to burn down. Okay? I have a phone call. Hello. Welcome to Freedom March.
Mr. Munkar.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. I would like for you to send a shout out to Nicola Stubbs.
Nicola Stubbs. Is she one of the women
from, and it's coming from her 3 children, her husband, her aunt, one aunt, and her uncles, and every one of us that loves her.
Where she lives?
Happy birthday to her.
Nicola Stubbs, you heard what the people them say. Happy birthday to you. And listen, the family loves you. And remember, blessed is the wife who listens not to her ma, her pa, and her sister them, and the children them, but listen to the husband, okay? Happy birthday, Nicola. Any more calls? Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
No, of course.
Go ahead, read text.
Mr. Moncur.
Yes?
Okay, yeah, this is the same text about the fire engine being sent to. Gentlemen, good day.
Yes.
They want a number for every renewal. Good day, Mr. Moncur and Spiritual Advisor. Mr. Moncur, F&M moving like snails. They don't go slow.
Yeah.
This country better start moving or crime will get more out of control.
Now
Now people from the gaming board have been let go. This is very sad, Mr. Moncur.
But there's help and hope on the way. If the F&M is stupid to fire 40 staff now, contact me. Because Wayne Monroe, I need to give him a good case. It is against the law to fire 40 people without going through a certain process as prescribed by the new amendment to the labor law. Okay? Y'all stand strong, man, and contact me. 434-5760. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Mr. Monica, do you know if Arlington Butler and Arlington Miller are the same person? No.
Oh, no, they're not.
No.
So Arlington Butler is different from Arlington Miller. Okay?
Did you get
Arlington Miller is a former president of the Public Services Union. And at one time, I think he might have also been an F&M candidate. So Arlington Butler, he is a former parliamentarian, a former speaker, a former minister of national security. Okay? And I think I won't say any more. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Okay, here we go. Let's go to the other main line. Senator, why is it that EMS staff don't have medical insurance? People that go on the streets to help people and handle people's bodily fluids and stuff like that in an uncontrolled environment. Nurses, who I also love, have insurance and deserve it, but handle patients in controlled environment.
Well, that's what the price you pay for not putting sufficient political pressure on the PLP when they were in power to ensure that they didn't demit office without making sure that the national health insurance was grounded and solidified in law, because there arose a Negro leader by the name of Menace. And Menace ain't checking for us. Menace them greedy. They only taking care of themselves, and they only want raised for themselves while we starve. This is Freedom March. I'll be right back after the break.
Do you have something to say to the Senator? Call Freedom March at 323-7775. Toll free from anywhere in the Bahamas at 242-300-0045. Freedom March with Rodney Monker, only on ILTV. March with Rodney Monker.
Welcome back to Freedom March, broadcasting live from ILTV studios here in Nassau, Bahamas. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. Bradley, how are you?
To give you good, sound spiritual advice, Mr. Monker.
You are a great,
That's what it's all about.
Great citizen.
Absolutely.
We have a call. I'm told that one of the woman them is on the phone. Hello, how are you? Welcome.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Monker.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
Listen, I'm here. How are you?
I am fine, thank God. I'm your spiritual advisor.
I'm doing great. How about yourself? All
You're
well?
a great man. I'm going to meet this your friend again. I'm going to meet both of you one day.
Absolutely.
Listen, Mr. Monker,
Yes,
early
ma'am.
in your show,
Yes.
you were talking about Monkey Cameron going into the man's jockey.
Yes.
And then after that, you say if anybody should, you find anybody putting Monkey Cameron in your jockey, you will put in the woman's jockey. But I don't believe women really wear jockeys. I know some probably do, but I don't know of it. You think they wear jockey?
I would hope that they're not wearing jockey.
But you said you're going to put the Monkey Cameron in their jockey.
Yeah, well,
I think they wear panties or little G-strings or something like that.
wow, I couldn't put it there.
You can't put it there.
No, and that's me running on because
And we're gonna have that ongoing because this has to be straightened out. I'm supposed to get the star to sing that song. Let's straighten it out.
Let's straighten it out. You're
We
the
have
kind
to
of
straighten it out.
You're the kind of woman that we need participating in these kind of talks.
Exactly. We're gonna meet one day, Mr. Monker.
Yes.
And most likely I will come on your show one day.
And you will tell man and woman to live good.
Live good.
And you will not put more blame on woman than woman deserve, and more blame on man than man deserve.
Exactly. So we need to get this thing sorted out.
Because you as a woman, I would want to regard you as mother of man and woman. How does
I am a mother of man. I don't want to discuss my age but I know we're heading up with you one and one.
Well, that means you are charming.
Yes, but Mr. Monker, I'm going to call you one day. We got to get together because I know you know who I am.
Yes, well, call me because I want to ease the tension.
Yes, we have to.
Yeah.
And they have to stop putting Monkey Camerons in the man's jockey.
Yeah.
And stop keeping Sweetheart.
And for many children, had it not been for Sweetheart, there'd be no grocery today.
Thank you so much, Mr. Monker.
Yeah.
Too much sweethearting, that has to cut out.
Yeah. But
Mr. Monker.
It will not cut out.
It's not going to cut out?
No, because people are not saved like you and I.
Yeah, well, we all have to get saved.
Well, this is true.
Absolutely.
This is true.
But then again, I should advise you have a beautiful show.
I thank you.
The spiritual advisor and you all, oh my God, I can't miss. When your show starts, I don't move.
You are one of the woman them.
I am one of the woman them.
I thank God.
And we're going to meet one day very soon.
I thank God that I possess the sugar for the woman them.
I tell you, the sugar of the woman them.
This is powerful, and that is why I want man and woman to live in equal harmony.
Yes, and stop going to the church with the bucket and come at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Isn't that enough to cause a man to sin?
It is enough.
I wouldn't tell you.
Why take the bucket and go into the pump, But you go in the church, come 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Well, what's going on?
That's a joke. I wouldn't tell you, but goodness me, I almost identified my relative.
Yeah,
who was asked to cook crab and rice.
Crab and
And you know what she did?
What?
The man had to send her back home to us. She cooked the whole crab.
A whole crab, and then when I hear when the pastor visits the house, they give him the biggest piece of chicken. What happened?
If that were to happen in my house, I would take the pastor's seat.
So, Anchor.
Listen.
Oh, Mr. Monka.
Yes, ma'am.
I love your show.
I thank you.
And I will continue to watch.
I thank you.
And one of these days, me, you, and the spiritual advisor will meet.
I will call it a great camp meeting.
Yes, and you're going to be surprised.
This is powerful.
Yes.
Now
bye, and continue to do what you're doing.
Thank you, and be safe, eh?
You both have a nice weekend.
This is powerful. This is powerful.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
I'm looking at yesterday's, what paper is this? Yesterday Tribune, the obituary section. Didn't see it yesterday, and I got a surprise in my life that one of the sons of the late Oscar Nathaniel Johnson, the former parliamentary representative in a progressive Liberal Party government, his son, Ray Anthony Spy Johnson, he's dead. And listen, he is survived by all of Oscar Johnson's children. I knew Ray personally, and I can tell you a secret. Oscar Johnson loved him. And I used to enjoy going to the printing press when he shows up and he said, Daddy, I reach. Him and his father, the late Oscar Johnson, it is like they had, oh boy, there was a way that they communicated. And I'll tell you, Ray Anthony, if there was a young man who had manners and respect for his father, it was the son, Ray Anthony Johnson. And then I knew his wife. She was a wonderful, charming Negro lady. And so he's dead at age 62. And his funeral will be held on Sunday, November 12th, 2017, at 2:30 p.m. at St. Agnes Anglican Church. So Ray Anthony Spy Johnson, the son of former Cat Island Member of Parliament, the late Oscar Johnson, dead at age 62. May he rest in peace, and may all of his family have our deepest sympathies. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
I am wonderful.
This is powerful. What is on your mind, sister?
Yes, Senator.
My lord, my lady.
Yes, Senator, this is Peggy calling out of Freeport. I want you to know I'm one of the women them.
Oh, Peggy, you are a charming woman. How are you?
And we love you. We love you. We love you, Mr. Monka. When are you coming to Freeport to march?
Listen, I have decided that although I'm afraid of the plane, I gotta come. All right? I'm going to sit down with my friends and see if I can find me some money, and I'm going to catch the plane. I'm coming down because it is clear to me that I have great love for the people of Grand Bahama, and they love me, and I have to get down there to march. So, Peggy, what to do is text me your number, all right?
All right, I will.
And
I watch you every day, Mr. Monka.
Are you really one of the women there?
I am one of the women them, and my children is the children them.
Well, I happen to be the leader of all the women them and the father and brother of the children them. This is powerful.
And we love you. Keep up the good work, Mr. Monka.
We shall, and I thank you for your public display of affection. Okay? God bless you, and be safe. Okay?
PLP.
All the way!
All the way.
Yeah. Now, don't forget, F&M too, eh? When I'm an F&M.
On the way.
Yes.
All right.
Too well, my dear.
Okay, there.
And the woman them love me, eh?
Yeah.
The woman them love me. Any more
I see
texts?
that, Mr. Monica. You
Read text, my spiritual advisor.
Been able to track all the woman them. Here we go, Mr. Monica.
Yes, this is powerful.
Good day, Mr. Monica, Prime Minister Menace.
Yes.
Why is Mr. Hubert Menace mad with LTE Calvin Johnson?
I don't know why, because I do know that Calvin Johnson had assisted in the campaign. I don't know. You know, Dr. Menace is a very strange person, you know.
It's good, Prime Minister, though. Good evening, Mr. Monica. Question: why does the Tribunal Industrial Courts take so long to see cases and make a rule on behalf of the small man, which home has no big money?
Say it again. Read it again.
Good evening, Mr. Monica. Question: why does the Tribunal Industrial Courts take so long to see cases and make a ruling on behalf of the small man, who has no big money, going up against these big hotels? My friends have cases pending from 2011 with one of the big hotel resorts. What is the problem, Mr. Monica? It is like the labor board is not doing its job at all. Are they getting paid under the table? Do you want to answer that?
Well, let me explain to you. There was a fundamental error from the conception of the Industrial Tribunal. What is the fundamental error? It should have been a part of the Supreme Court of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. And that would have been like the industrial side. But that didn't happen. Also, they are underfunded, understaffed. And even after you would have won a victory at the tribunal, to enforce it, you got to go to a judge of the Supreme Court. And don't forget what you're up against. We have Negroes, and they really don't love us. You just have to look at it. And that is why that citizens who will be supporting the Progressive Liberal Party, now is the time to submit ideas and propose programs to improve these institutions. So it's a bunch of problems. And so we have to identify them and send them to the leader of the opposition. And if you're supporters of the governing party, you can do the same thing and put pressure on them to improve the structure and the institution. That's what we have faced with. Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
Mr. Monica, that was false information, okay, that you got about the gaming board. That was false information.
Okay. Well, I'm happy if the informations are incorrect. I want everything to be incorrect. I don't want nothing as it relates to the determination of workers to be correct. And then Christmas is in 47 days. Hello, welcome to Freedom March. Hello? Are you there with me? Are you? The caller gone.
Good day, Mr. Monica. I want to know why is it that Dr. Menace did not go to Calvin Johnson's funeral?
Listen, I don't know. Menace may have taken that parable from Holy Scriptures.
Let the dead bury the dead. That's powerful, eh?
Is it? Next.
Excuse me.
My spiritual advisor.
But that's what Jesus says. Spiritual advisor, after being married for a long time, man just want to eat a different
My spiritual advisor, that is sinful. Don't read that no more. Check my Facebook status. Don't quote me. I also understood they plan to lay off staff come January, just after Christmas, same as they did in 2010. I'm being seconded to the Ministry of Agriculture. Hello, welcome to Freedom March.
Hello.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
What's on your mind?
Rodney, if the Auditor General give a report and the government in return go against that report, what should happen to the Auditor General?
Well, the Auditor General should curse them out.
Yeah, because they are not on the same page.
Yeah.
There's a misleading statement somewhere.
Well, we have to look because you have Marvin Dames, who is suggesting that having spoken to the commanders of the Defense Force, all the gun them are there. That is what he is suggesting. But we're not going to listen to Marvin. We're not going to listen to Marvin yet. Because we know Marvin has told us things prior to the election, and now that he got state power, it ain't turning out. All right?
Yes, sir. And Rodney, hello?
I'm listening, comrade.
Yes, you and spiritual advisor are now gaining strength in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
You think so?
Yes, sir, because I listen to the talk show them. I walk around the city, and everybody's talking about you and the spiritual advisor.
Well, my spiritual advisor is a wonderful citizen.
Yes, I'm asking the spiritual advisor to protect you and guide you.
I listen to everything he says.
Yes, and y'all will become the voice of the Bahamas on radio if they don't stop y'all.
This is
powerful. But I believe that they somehow will split you all apart.
The spiritual advisor and I?
Yeah, they will split you all apart.
No, we are bound by spiritual and Christian principles.
Absolutely.
Isn't
Don't
that
worry
so?
about that, Rodney. They'll find a way to get the spiritual advisor from you.
Well, listen, the spiritual advisor, I've authorized him to take gifts.
All right, then. And Rodney, to all the young men in Foxhill Prison, ask them to stay strong because they are living in unconditional habitat.
Really?
So pray for them, Rodney.
I shall pray for them, but I shall talk to those who have not reached the prison.
Well, you gotta guide them from young.
I shall try to do that right now. I thank you.
You take care of yourself, and Rodney, you have a good weekend.
Have a safe one, too.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Take good care.
Yes, sir.
All right, this is good. Any more texts, my spiritual advisor?
Yes, I have.
Because I want the young people. You hear what that man say? Prison is not in a good state, so stop committing crime. Okay? And do what I do. Go to bed early.
False information.
What else do we have?
Mr. Monka, we really need you to speak up for the prison officers. We have not gotten our pay. We need your help.
Well, I'm prepared to do so, but you know what's going on? The parliament is comprised of 35 greedy men, and they need their raised voice. Okay? That's what they need. But I shall hope that the nation has rocked their conscience and has told them, don't bother with that. Look, Dr. Menace, take care of the civil service, man. Make sure the prison staff, because they play a major role.
Of course they do.
Hello, welcome to Freedom Match. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Monka.
Sir.
How are you this evening, Professor?
Listen, if you are not tempting me, I am fine. How are you?
I'm doing okay.
How is the islands?
Yeah, everything's fine, Mr. Monka.
What is on your mind?
I need to speak to the spiritual advisor because I'm a little bit confused.
Go ahead. Good evening. How you doing?
My spiritual advisor.
Hey, how you doing? All well?
Yeah, I was listening a few days ago to Mr. Monker, and he said that some of his family, that sweethearts, has prostate problems. Did he say that?
Yeah, but I don't know if that's scientific. I think
No. He's not asking you the science.
Yes, he did say that.
Always answer the question.
Okay.
He did say that.
But yet he said he does not sweetheart, but he also said that he has prostate problems.
He said that.
So that's a little bit confusing.
Did I say I have prostate problem?
Well, you told one
I
lady
said
you
my
had,
prostate is jump up and down.
You couldn't find a parking spot because you had prostate.
Oh,
I got to pee, you know.
Want to take a
Yeah, that's what you said. You had a prostate problem because you told a lady. I heard you tell.
I want to pee. Urination.
Is that right or wrong?
Listen to me. Let me clear you up.
Okay.
The last time. Yeah, you listening?
Yes.
I went to see Sister Woman in the back of Carmichael Road. She prayed for my prostate, and she gave me bush medicine. Okay? Now, at 60, you know, you have to urinate. And when I get to those various places, when a man needs to go, he has to go. I'm 60. But my prostate has not been affected by speed dating because I have not done it yet. You see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, well, that's what had me confused, because you said all the family had it because of sweetheart.
But you are faithful.
Sounds like...
Are you faithful?
If they had it because of sweetheart, and you didn't sweetheart, why would you get it?
Well, I'm telling you, I don't have it because I don't sweetheart.
Okay, I'm just about 80, and I don't have it.
This is powerful. That means you've never done that.
Okay.
You take good care, and I want you to be safe, eh?
I'm still confused, though, how these governments, the way they operate. They seem like they're not doing the right thing.
But because, look, I told you.
The jail is deteriorating within 6 months, so it's also.
Listen, I told you don't vote F&M. You all Conky Joe people don't listen.
No, we can't vote F&M.
I told you.
Can't vote PLP either.
Huh?
Can't vote for either party.
But I keep telling the Conky Joe people, not because you all, not because of the party. You must vote. You must look at the issue. All right? Can't you see how the country's on its way to hell?
Yeah,
and stop financing the F&M. If you have money, send it to the PLP. Take it care and have a good weekend.
Okay.
Hello, welcome to Freedom Match. Hello. Don't take no more calls. We can spend the rest of the day with texts and the spiritual advisor asking the people them not to commit any crimes.
Crimes, yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Monica. I married a dark woman, and now she seems to bleach a lot because she heard I have a mango sweetheart. Tell her to stop. Well,
Let's read the text. Read the text.
They want you to tell the woman to stop it. He needs to stop it.
No, sister, stop bleaching yourself. Okay, it is not good for your skin. All right, and I would suggest that in the case of your husband, you should pray for him and anoint him with olive oil. How's that, my spiritual advisor?
Senator, the Bahamas should be exporting guava duffs, coconut cakes, coconut duff, and towels to different parts of the world. I'm thinking of starting a company doing this exporting, Bahamian Desserts Abroad. What do you think about it, Mr.
I think it's a wonderful idea. It's a wonderful idea. And I also think that you should grow the produce that you're going to make it with. Like the coconut, what else? The pineapples, and those things. Spiritual advisor, the clock is running out. Talk to my people.
I want to read a scripture, but I don't have my phone.
Good. So talk to the people. I want no crime in the country. I want the people to be peaceful.
One more text to read here, Mr.
Okay,
Monica.
read that text. The clock is running out. Don't give it.
Yeah, I need to read the scripture. Yeah, give me the big one.
Goodness of my spiritual advisor.
Sing. Okay, this. Sorry. I can't read that.
Well, I got some text.
Yeah, read some text.
Monica, give the F&M credit. Got crime done. I mean murder. Thank you, Lord Jesus. It's the people's time. Okay. Once they can keep the murders down, I'll return. I want you to salute Mrs. Cora May Bridgewater in Bevanstown, Grand Bahama, who's carrying on. Okay, I've read that. Dr. Menace was in Grand Bahama for the trade show to invite the big names from Silicon Valley to invest in Freeport. Okay, let's see what else to say. Spiritual advisor, I am married a dark woman. Now she is bleached, dead hard, because she hear I have a mango skin sweetheart. Tell us to stop it, please. I want you to stop sinning, all right, and return faithfully to that wonderful woman. Now, spiritual advisor, the clock is running. Will you please talk? I'm going to talk.
Okay, well, this weekend, Mr. Monica, anything special happening this weekend?
I don't know. I know that the Negro people will go out to have fun.
Fun, right.
And you want them to obey the law.
Absolutely.
Obey the law. Listen to the police. Don't commit no crime.
Spend some time, special time, with family and friends. No, not lovers. No. The weekend, Mr. Monica, is always a time where you get together with your family and those special friends, and you do some positive things. You know, you have little family cookouts, little family dinners.
Right.
For the ladies who like to go shopping, they go to the mall, take the kids out to little parties, parks, and so on and so forth. Do all the positive things. And then, of course, Sunday arrives, the first day of the week. That is the day that our great God and Savior Jesus Christ got up from the dead. And as you're aware, Mr. Monica, the first day of the week is the day that Christians gather together to remember what Jesus Christ did. And that is a perfect time for family to understand how Jesus Christ died on the cross. And he did something that no other human could have done. He sacrificed his life for the entire world. And this is why we are confident about forgiveness, Mr. Moncur.
Oh, hallelujah.
Because without the shedding of Christ's blood, there could be no forgiveness. And as a result of Jesus Christ's sacrifice on the cross, we now have access to God through Jesus Christ. And we can approach the throne of grace in our time of need. For we all have sinned, Mr. Moncur.
Have I sinned, my spiritual advisor?
Yes, you have sinned. I have sinned. Ross have sinned. Everyone have sinned. The Bible says in Romans 3:23, for all have sinned and have come short of the glory of God.
Everybody?
All, even the Pope.
What about Papa?
Even Hubert Alexander Ingram has sinned.
This is powerful.
The Neon Coke. Yes. But through Jesus Christ.
This is powerful.
We have honestly, we have forgiveness. And that's why I'm confident as a Christian that even though I do stumble at times, that I do rely on the grace of Jesus Christ to take me through. So we hope this weekend that it is a positive and safe weekend. Mr. Moncur, we want to ask all of our young men to put the guns down and to do something positive. Get involved in something in the community that will be positive to help uplift and encourage the community. And then until next week, the next broadcast, Freedom March, it's going to be a big bang, eh? Come Monday.
Folks, listen, you heard my spiritual advisor. Please be safe. Do what I do. This weekend, I'm hiding. I'm going to hide from a whole government. I am hiding from Dr. Menace, his ministers, his parliamentarians. I'm hiding. And if you all see me, help me hide from the government because they don't like me. Okay? So this is Freedom March. Please be safe.
Have a great weekend, everybody.
Please don't kill nobody. Take good care. God save the Queen. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
The thoughts, views, and comments expressed by Rodney Moncur, his guests, callers, and advisors on Freedom March are not necessarily those of the management, ownership, or production unit of ILS, the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without the express written consent of the Verizon Media Group. Freedom March is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2017. All rights are reserved.